Hello, Homebeez. Karen and I are going to take you past the Coors plant here in Golden, Colorado, and then the Old Town Golden. It's pretty neat there, and it's one of the locations that we used to come to when we were younger. We used to hang out in town there at night, and a matter of fact, we were a lot younger when Karen was still riding on the back with me, and she wasn't driving or riding, of course. She was with me one night in Old Golden, and had a little too much fun. I had an old 1976 FXE, and with tailpipes, kind of had the upswept fish pipes. I don't think she liked that too much. They were kind of right by her ear. But we come home one night from that tavern there in town, and she'd had a little bit too much fun, and we got home. Next morning we came out and looked at the bike, and it had melted shoe all over the exhaust pipes. She had later booed on the pipes and rode home as a passenger that way. But this is real nice through here. A lot of bicyclists come down through here. Karen and I used to actually live in the town of Golden. And there's the old Coors plant. There's a bicyclist. Like I said, a lot of bicyclists on this road. There's a flat top mesa up there. I guess way back in the day, there was actually a old time saloon up top there, and then it caught on fire, and there was no way to get water up to put it out. So this was many years ago. This Coors plant stretches out quite a ways, well, at least several miles. We're going to head up here and hit the old main street of Golden and show you what that looks like. It's really neat. It's got a lot of little shops, gift shops, antique shops, taverns. Got a lot of the they shuttle a lot of trailers back and forth through here. Gotta kind of watch it. But this is it. This is the Coors plant. Normally they give tours. And pretty soon here we're going to be up here on Main Street. Like I said, we used to actually live in Golden. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Right here at the as you can see, the foothills of the mountains. Very beautiful. If you look up there, you can see Lookout Mountain Road. Hopefully you can see it. School of Mines symbol up on the mountain there. I think they usually have the freshman students usually do the maintenance yearly on that. Beautiful day. We're going to take you all the way into Washington Avenue, then we're going to turn back around and come back through town and kind of show you historic Golden. It's also home of the School of Mines and Engineering School here in Colorado, well known. I think they got like an 80%, 90% placement rate, and if you can get through that school. Beautiful town. It's also the home of Colorado State Patrol Academy. Okay, Homebeez. We're leaving this park in Old Golden. We're going to go down Highway 93. Go past the old backside of Rocky Flats. If you're not familiar with that, it used to be the nuclear weapons plant. That's there no longer. I think it's kind of a wildlife refuge now. Actually building homes all around it. People out just enjoying the day. Even got the dogs in on it. So we're going to finish our trip through Old Town Golden here. And there's another residential part here further to the north before we actually hit the highway that we want. It's a great day to get out. Karen wasn't feeling too well earlier, and I think her spirits are lifted pretty high now, so it's kind of a nice thing about riding. And we're going past the police department here in Golden and the fire department. I didn't think we were going to make that light. Feels perfect when we're heading down the road. I got my leathers on and a little warm when we come to a stop, but once we get rolling, it's just kind of the perfect temperature. Hopefully I'm not moving my head too quickly here. Sorry about that. And this will be my first attempt at actually doing some vlogging where I'm narrating. And here we go. We got Highway 93 in Colorado, heading north. And in one of my earlier videos, Karen and I were talking about like the bikes that we bought, or the first bikes we bought, or what inspired us to buy bikes. And the one I mentioned was actually my first Harley, but I've actually had quite a few bikes, and I thought to myself, well, that wasn't my first bike. First bike was an old TS 125 Suzuki, kind of like an enduro, that I received as payment for watching my younger brother. And it was a lot of fun, and I've had just about every type of bike you can think of. I had that, a Suzuki. I had a 350 Honda, which was kind of a smaller bike, but I used to just ride that thing everywhere. Ended up trading it for a Triumph that someone had turned into a chopper, and that bike was a lot of fun. I think it was like a 550. It was a smaller bike too, real narrow. And then I had a Kawasaki. I can't remember if it was a 650 or 750. It was a KZ Kawasaki. It was actually a street bike. Probably my first real street bike. But the Honda 350 was a lot of fun. It was a good bike to learn on. And then of course I had a 79 Sportster. Ended up later on buying, I think it was a 96 Sportster. Karen surprised me one time with a 1976 Shovelhead. Loved that bike. There wasn't a stock thing on it. Had a suicide jockey shift, custom paint job, had the upturned pipes with the fishtails on it. Like I said, I don't think Karen liked it too much because they kind of cracked right by her ear. But we had a lot of fun on that bike. Now, I love the rolling hill riding. It's 2-lane, little lakes. Always a little windy. Seems like no matter what time you come through here, it's always a little windy being at the base of the mountains. Karen talked that they were predicting a little wind, but I noticed in Colorado there's always a little bit of wind going. Not bad. Beautiful mountains out that way. You can see how much snow is still out there. And we're going to be heading up on our Jefferson County airport's out this way. And Karen's coming up alongside of me. She absolutely loves that bike. That's a great bike. Kind of like I know they're a pain to warm up and when you first start them when you come out, but those carbureted bikes just have a whole different, I don't know, that old school sound, that loping sound that they have. Her bike sounds great. And if you don't know, that's her bike. She calls it Pearl, Mini Pearl, because of the paint job. And if you haven't been on the channel before, it's Mark and Karen at Homebeez. We call you guys our Homebeez. We did a play on the word of homies and then our last name, and came up with Homebeez. So, and as I mentioned earlier about the different bikes that I've had and stuff like that, I'd like to hear about the different bikes that you guys have had. I think one of the funnest ones I had was that Shovelhead that Karen bought. I looked up this old Shovelhead and that was for sale, and while I was at work, Karen made arrangements for us to go pick it up, and we went to go pick it up, and Karen's like, because yeah, I don't know what the guy was talking about, but he said something about you have to shift this bike by hand, and she didn't really know what that meant. I said, oh yeah, it's got a jockey shift. I said, that's going to be interesting. I knew the concept, never had ridden one before, so we actually drove about an hour away to go pick up the bike, and it was actually at a dealership at the time, and the guy selling it was laughing. He's like, yeah, I don't know who I pictured buying this bike. Lowered and ape hangers on it and fishtail pipes that, you know, kind of came up at an angle. It's definitely one of my once I got used to that jockey shift, it was just a blast to ride. So it was a it was a nice surprise from Karen, and I think she enjoyed the bike too, other than the pipes coming up by her ear. She didn't care too much for that. I guess I don't blame her. Had a lot of good years on that bike. My daughter, she was just little. I think she was about 3 years old when we got rid of it. And she kind of wish I'd kept it. She started crying when we got rid of it. But yeah, I'd like to hear about some of the bikes that you guys have had. Ones you really enjoyed, probably wish you didn't get rid of. So we're going to go down here in Broomfield, and there's actually one of our little breweries here that has one of our favorite craft beers, the Blood Orange. Blood Red Orange, or is it Blood Orange, Karen? What is it? Just Blood Orange? Blood Orange IPA. I don't normally, IPAs aren't usually my, IPAs aren't usually what we like, but that one I love. So we're going to go to one of our craft breweries, as we were saying, and it's called the Rails Inn. So kind of by the railroad there, so I guess that's why they named it the Rails Inn. Little industrial park. Definitely miss sitting down inside and having one, but we'll take one home. And no, go down where it says no outlet. You'll see a sign that says no outlet. No outlet. So we're here at Rails Inn. We're gonna get a growler and then head home. Thanks for coming along. And all right, Homebeez. Karen, you want to say goodbye?